All right, everybody, welcome to Behind the Bar. I'm your host, Danny Johnson, where we interview your favorite dry bar comedians. As always, Behind the Bar is sponsored by RX Solutions. If you're uninsured or underinsured and you want up to 75% on your next prescription, go to rxsolutions.online for more information. Today, my guest is somebody I have never had the pleasure of meeting until today. Lee Hardin's dry bar special is called Not Quite a Grown Up. I watched that special. I also had the pleasure of watching you on Huckabee.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic job on both, man. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Dude, hats off to you for it. I know this is a new podcast, but you already have a sponsor. Amazing. That's that is so hard to do.
It is. It
So,
is.
and fun story about Huckabee really quick. They fixed it in editing, but on the taping of Huckabee, my pants were completely unzipped the entire time.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's like a nightmare for every guy. Like that's the
Yeah.
biggest fear.
Yeah, they were black jeans with a gold zipper, and they shined, baby. They shined.
And
So,
who noticed it? Who noticed it?
oh, all of my friends and family right after I got off stage. That's who noticed.
Gosh.
I got off stage. I was like, all right, got some applauses, got some laughs. All right, that was a good tight TV set. I walk off stage, go to the green room. I look down, the zipper was down. I'm like, oh no. And
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it came like this walking. No, it was the whole time because all of my friends and family texted me right away. I got about 50 text messages from the audience, like, your zipper was down. Like, I was like, I'm going to be the first guy banned the first comedian banned on a Christian TV show. That's what I thought was going
Yeah.
to happen. But
How how
they're pros.
nerve-wracking was that?
They fixed doing Huckabee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not not terrible. I've gotten to do warm up there a couple of times throughout the years, so I was already familiar with the place, familiar with Governor Huckabee. He's an amazing guy, very nice guy. He's one of the most genuine guys you'll ever meet, honestly. He so that part wasn't just and about the time frames about the same. You do about 7 minutes as a warm up comedian. That was about the same time
Okay.
as a TV spot. So I like doing warm up better, honestly. So I didn't ask to do the TV spot. They knew me enough at this point. I've been there for a few years, and they were like, "That's time to get you on TV." And I was like, "Okay, let's." I'm so I didn't push for it, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
not too nerd. Yeah,
you're probably more free, like free when you're doing the warm up, right? Because the
yeah,
TV set's like, all right, how do I make sure my set's not 8 minutes? It needs to be seven.
right,
What
right.
jokes am I doing? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Not as nerve wracking, but this will be completely shallow. Warm up actually pays, so that's so
Yeah.
TV. It's I was very honored to get to do to a DV spot on Huckabee with my zipper down, but um, yeah, I'll take warm up any day of the week over
Yeah.
a TV spot. So
So let me ask you this about your background. Is that a real background that you have with all the guitars on the wall?
oh yeah, me and my dad, we love guitars. He's a way better guitar player than I am, but we play them, collect them, and it's definitely my one of my bigger hobbies. So
Yeah. You know, one of my
yeah.
favorite things about watching your special and the Huckabee thing was if memory serves me, you did 30-minute special and then the 6 or 7 minute spot at Huckabee, and I don't think I heard a repeat joke.
Oh yeah, that's good. I hope not. I don't know. I just the special came out in 2019,
Right.
so Huckabee was last October, and ideally you want to write newer jokes and
Sure.
whatnot. So I'd been doing newer jokes on road gigs and stuff, and I was like, well, this stuff's already on a platform, and this is already out there. I feel like I need to bring some newer stuff, and so I appreciate you noticing that.
Yeah.
I've had other yeah,
It's because too many comics I think go with the safer route of my dry bar kills. I know this kills, and that's okay. It's just refreshing
sure.
sometimes to kind of see, wow, he went with some all different stuff. He's writing. That's I guess that my biggest rush is Lee's writing. You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, you just there's a few comics who can get away with doing the same stuff, and John Panette was one of those guys.
Yeah.
He had almost the same act for several years, and it was still amazing amazing every time you heard it. But
Absolutely.
I was just I knew I needed newer clips. I wanted to have video to keep putting on social media, and just again, you're writing, and you hope the newer stuff hopefully it's better, because
Right.
that special is a collection of some of your first jokes you ever wrote, and you hope you can evolve and be more authentic in the new stuff. I think it went well. I mean, again, it's what a comic hears is different than a crowd, and you're always like,
Yeah.
well, that person chuckled, that means it's terrible, and
Yeah.
you know.
What did for Huckabee, do you have to run your material by them?
No, I think that's one reason they don't do it live. So it's not a live
Okay.
show. They tape it and then they put it together and play it later that weekend. So if need be, they'll just put something else in there. So nope, didn't have to run a transcript or anything, thankfully. So that was nice.
Yeah, because I understand for like some of the late night shows, you have to provide a transcript. You got to do the
Transcript.
set in front of the producers, like
Yeah,
and take this word out, take that out. But if you have a little bit
right.
more freedom, especially doing because ideally a TV spot, and at least with the late night, is 5 or so minutes, right? So if you're doing 6 or 7 or Huckabee, they have that freedom to kind of
For
edit it.
sure. Yeah, they can edit, and I can attest to their editing. Trust me, the zipper was down, and you did not notice it was down when you watch it.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I tell you that I go back and look for it, but I don't want to go back and look for at your.
I appreciate that. That's fine. The worst part was, since I didn't know my zipper was down, my hand was in my pocket while I was telling the jokes, so the hole got wider as I was telling.
Oh no.
And my mom was there. She was gripping on to dad, like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So like, just the shiny gold zipper, just clear as
Oh
day.
my gosh,
And
that's funny.
I even told Mike Huckabee the next time I went to do warm up, I'm like, man, I was worried I wasn't gonna be allowed back on your show. And he's like, why? I told him, he thought it was hilarious. And so,
Wow.
but I've got, hey, there's a new bit out of that now. So that's pretty fun.
There you
I've,
go.
it'll tell a real story, and so that's
Yeah.
cool.
So you're in Nashville. You're born and raised there?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, born in Tennessee, lived in South Carolina a few years, and then around 95, been in Tennessee. Yeah, pretty much lived all over Nashville, back in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is like 30 minutes away. Lived in a few other spots, but nothing insane.
Yeah.
Like New York, I was there for maybe a month just visiting, see if I wanted to move there for comedy. I don't. And it's a cool place. I loved visiting, but yeah, just hats off to people that can live out there.
Yeah,
So
well, Nashville seems to be a hotbed of comedy as of late. You and I can probably name a dozen or more comics off the top of our head that are big out of there.
there's a lot of guys moving to Nashville. Yeah, I haven't gotten to meet them. I'm semi bad about getting into Zanies as far as just going to hang out. It's like 30 minutes from where I live, so I don't go there as much as I used to.
Yeah, isn't
But
that awkward? Like when you have to do
yeah,
that, you know what I mean? Just to kind, especially if you don't know. I mean, even if I went and I knew you, it would still be weird. Like,
yeah, it's weird going, because you're like, well, I know they know I'm a comedian, but I'm gonna be a face around. I'm gonna see if I can hang out, and you know, yeah, it's a weird spot, just because I am in no way burying zanies whatsoever. I just I'm not there a ton, so
yeah,
you just don't know. I didn't do anything wrong, so there's nothing for them to dislike you about.
yeah,
But it no, like back to the comics moving here, like Theo Vaughn. It's a big deal. He's here in Nashville. Steve Byrne, grew up watching that guy on Comedy Central, and
great.
he's so good. He's here now. I mean, Henry Cho's been a Nashville comic for a while. He's Tennessee, LA, and now Nashville, but he's been here a very long time. So yeah, lots of, like, Bargatze, of course, is here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. Just, it wasn't like this 8 or 9 years ago, so it's pretty awesome. Are you in Florida? Did I get
yeah.
is that right?
Near Jacksonville, North Florida.
Oh, go Jags! All right.
Yeah.
I'm a big sorry. I'm a big Clemson fan. So
Wow.
the Jags have snagged up a couple of Clemson guys, and so I'm following.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to seeing how was it Travis Etienne will
yeah,
play.
Yeah,
because he was
and
hurt all season.
he had a foot injury, never had an injury before. Trevor Lawrence, I'm pretty obsessed with Clemson football. There's a lot of game film studies on YouTube, and there's these guys showing you the progression of Trevor Lawrence during the season, going, "Hey, don't worry, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
His situation's terrible, but watch, he knows he's getting better each game." So
yeah, that whole
yeah,
situation too with the Urban Meyer and
yeah,
like
the chop house, yeah,
I can't. I just want Trevor Lawrence is so good.
yes,
You have to have the right play callers, the right people in place. I mean, what do I know, right? I'm not a GM or whatever, but it's just
sure,
frustrating to see such a great talent.
right.
Where's it going to go?
We all thought Urban was going to be great because, like, well, this guy mentality wise, he's a winner, and then you see you see what happened. If you watch the Pat McAfee show, they have so much fun with Urban Meyer, and they always reference the Chop House. Like that's
Yeah,
where that video surfaced at.
he kicks the kicker.
Yeah. So they've got a lot of little fun. They don't do skits, but they have a lot of fun little interactions regarding Urban Meyer on that show. It's
Yeah.
it's so good. So
How'd you get your start in comedy? You've been in it for a bit now, right?
I started, I think, 8 years ago. So it's been 8 or 9 years ago. There was a brief year I wasn't super active. I'd gotten involved in an improv group, and a year was enough of that. And I missed stand up. And so let's see. So yeah, about 8 years ago, took a class out of from Zany's.
Yep.
Rick Roberts, who also has a dry bar special.
Yeah,
He
he's
taught
on
the
my list.
class. Oh, great guy. He'll be a fun interview. Um, I was the first guest on his School of Laughs podcast. So in return, I had him as my first guest on the Lee Hardin podcast.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I took his class, and that's where I learned, the difference between regular jokes and stage jokes and what works for stand-up comedians as far as joke telling. And
Yeah.
yeah, so started there, open mics, of course, but I got kind of impatient, wanted to hit the road, so I hit the road way too early. So
Yeah,
part of it.
we everyone makes that mistake, but
Yeah.
you're all
But
over
how
now. I think I looked at your schedule. Aren't you going to Canada soon?
Yeah, I was supposed to go there last year. Did you know passports expire?
I don't know that I knew that. Honestly, I don't know.
Really? Because I was the only dude that didn't know that. Apparently, I I was at the airport on my way to Calgary, and American Airlines, they were so helpful getting my bags and all this stuff and scanning my
Wow.
passport, and they're like, "Oh, it's expired." I'm like, "Oh, what's that mean?" "Oh, it means you can't go." "Oh,
Oh,
since when have passports expired?" "Oh, like since forever." So
I gotta
yeah,
check mine now. Jeez.
yeah. Everybody I told that to was like, looked at me like I was an idiot. They were like, "Yeah, you did." I was like, "No, I thought you had it forever when you had your passport." So
When you go, so what? And forgive my memory here because I was
you're
just kind of
fine.
scrolling through your schedule. You're there for quite some time at that
They do
one.
a week of shows. It's called the Cave. Comedy Cave, or the Cave. But yeah, they do a week long, amount of shows. And I asked them like, "Well, you've seen my clips. Is that stuff gonna work in Canada?" Like, yeah, we're pretty easy going. I'm like, cool. And so that'll be a new thing. Again, I was supposed to be there last year, and they were super nice about it for canceling on them last minute. Calling them, I was so worried about that. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh man, I signed a contract. I hope I don't owe them money or anything like that."
yeah.
But they were so cool about it, and like, hey, this is a weird world we're living in right now, so no worries there. Let's get you in. Let's find a date. We did, and so
Yeah.
that'll be in September, and so I'm excited about that. That's it'll be a fun new learning experience, no
That's
doubt.
great. That's a good
So
opportunity. And you know who you're working with or no? Any of the other people on the lineup?
then, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I haven't seen that yet. So
Doesn't
I
matter.
know
Lee is there. That's all that counts.
that's all. And I don't know. I grew up a big wrestling fan, so I know that's the home of Bret the Hitman Hart. So I'm gonna find a way to get him to come to a show if I can. So
Dude, that's so funny you mentioned
yeah,
that. I was just not gutting, decluttering my house, right? And I have these old Tupperware bins in my room, and I open up one, and I have a 16-year-old son, and he used to collect wrestling figures when he was younger. And then I have
Hasbro
my
or the Hasbro ones?
yeah, mine are the
Yeah.
ones like the rubber ones. They're stuck like
Oh, yeah, Jax ones or the
yeah.
LJNs. Yeah, I'm a super nerd about this stuff. So
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, I have
yeah,
all mine and all his, and I was like
those,
telling him how I used to go and who they are or whatever.
yeah, dude, yours are probably really valuable if you like.
Really?
I would at least look into it if you still got some ones from the '80s, the rubber ones, tall ones.
Yeah.
I would see what they're worth.
I got
So
some. I have some like obscure, like I have like Coco Beware.
yeah,
Was it the Bulldog? No, what's the
British Bulldog,
yes,
Dynamite Kid.
Killer
Yeah,
Bees.
yeah, you have Killer Bees.
Who
Sweet.
else do I have? Then the standard Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd,
Yeah.
King Kong Bundy, Georgie Animal Steel. He has the green tongue,
Yep. Yep.
and
Those
then
are
he has all
sweet,
the newer
man.
ones.
I love that.
I
That's so
need,
cool.
I need to go sell those.
Yeah, man. See if they're yeah. Let me know what you have.
Yeah, we can.
But man, did you start in Florida or how long have you been doing comedy?
I started so I grew up on Long Island, New York, and then when my family moved to Jacksonville, I actually finished up college in Tampa, and then moved to Long Island. It just was moved back to Long Island. It was too expensive, so I just followed them down to Jacksonville.
Okay.
And the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville was right down the road, and joined the workshop, much like the class at Zany's, and then started hosting in 1999. And then it was a regular host for a couple of years, and then I bumped up to feature, and then the headliners, um, would take me on the road with them. That's how I started getting on the road work when I was
That's awesome.
emceeing.
Yeah, that's great.
And then the features that headline smaller rooms would take me as their feature. You just kind of build up that schedule. So that's how I got
Dude, that's super
my
cool.
start.
Like man, having a headliner see something in you and take you on the road,
Yeah.
that's pretty special. So hats off to you, man. That's hard to pull off. So
And I think what comedically, what really helped me was back when I was house MC with like four other people. The club was Tuesday through Saturday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were radio nights. So it was free tickets for if you called up the country, rock, and then whatever other station. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Typically, the same audiences every week would sign up for free tickets. So once I had like whatever my 15 minutes, and I did like every other Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was like people started they would yell out like, "Do the whatever joke," and I'm like, I need to write.
oh
So it
man,
forced me to like give new material
sure. That's
and
kind of
go
cool.
from
Like
there.
you got some fans. Like you're at a rock show. They're requesting.
Yeah,
I've only had that happen once, and that's pretty. I don't know if comedians get tired of that or whatever. I'm like, I think it's cool. People knew my stuff before I got here, man.
I
That's pretty
think
special.
you
So
know you know who Dom Irrera is.
love Dom. Gosh, he's so funny.
This is a third party story. So he had an interesting take. He told a comedian friend of mine once about because his material is so popular, right? He said he goes, he really can't win. He'll do a show, let's say the Punchline Atlanta, whatever, and he'll get people to come up to him after the show. Thank gosh you did the old stuff. I drove an hour to see it. And then
Oh
another table will be like, you did all new stuff. I wanted to hear the old stuff. He's like, I can't win. You know what I mean?
no,
You can't please. So just be funny. Try to mix it up.
right. Did the crowd laugh? Cool. Who cares? Um,
I was doing a show in Hilton Head, and this was shortly after my dry bar, and there was a table specifically of dry bar fans. They let the owner know, and I guess one or
cool.
two really liked my set, my dry bar special. And I was going into a set of material, their front row, and I utter the first three words, and I hear the one woman lean over to the rest of the table, and go, "Listen to this. This is great."
Oh,
I was like,
sweet.
I need to write some new jokes.
They're excited to hear them though. That's
Yeah.
pretty fun, man. You know now I have had that similar thing happen at some shows where I see a whisper and they're like, "Oh, I've heard this one," and
Yeah.
you do go, "Oh man," but there's huge names that will do old jokes all the time, and
Yeah.
unless you get super famous or just there's people that can write a new hour almost every year, and Chad Daniels is one of those guys.
Yeah.
I saw him right after he had an album come out. I got to see him in New York. He was super cool. I got to see him on stage, and this was just his album just dropped, and his whole hour was not on that album. I'm like, he just has
Wow.
a whole new hour, and It's awesome.
Isn't that I can't do that. Isn't that incredible to watch that? Like the Bill Burrs and the
Yeah.
Gaffigans that do in Bargatze, if I'm
There's
saying that
just
right.
a yeah, there's just a confidence that they just so much of his confidence is what I'm learning the more I do it. Just
Yeah.
comfort, being a little more fearless each time you get up there. Not losing your nerves, like nerves mean you
Yeah.
care. You don't want to lose those nerves, but the whole, I don't know, just that confidence, like it'll be okay either way type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Watching your Dry Bar special, I always whenever I don't watch a whole lot of comedy, maybe some of my favorites, like the big Bill Burr and Seinfeld and whatever, but
yeah.
um it's always great to see. Here's my favorite part of your Dry Bar special. I found there's a chunk of material or a bit that is like hits my trifecta. It's well written, well performed, and well timed.
Oh,
Everything
thanks.
was perfect. So it was texting the wrong number.
Oh, I mean, okay, yeah.
Do your pauses, the way you wrote it, where the punchlines land,
Yeah.
and the way you delivered it was I love to see that. It was flawless.
Oh, well, sweet. Thank you. That's appreciate that. That took that took a lot of time. I remember workshopping that for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. I appreciate you bringing that up. I if you haven't done Facebook Reels, putting your stuff on just the
I
Reels,
have
not
not, man.
do that. I think that's where a lot more views are going to come because I did the first minute of that bit on there. It took off, but what's ticking me off is like more people are liking it than not liking it. But I've got a few trolls
Of course.
commenting that I stole that joke, and nothing ticks me off more than that. And they keep showing the clip of Jay, and he's got a wrong number, but it's like a wrong call story. Jay
Yeah.
Larson,
Yeah.
and he had a set on Conan, and his whole bit was about a wrong call. And yeah, I've got people commenting not all over the place, but at least two or three guys
Right.
commenting, posting that clip. And no matter how, if you try to explain, hey,
Yeah.
comedians can write about the same topic. I even
Sure.
messaged Jay, was like, hey, just a heads up, people are saying this. You don't know me, no reason for you to know me, but people are saying this. I didn't know this bit existed while I was writing my joke. So he was super cool. He's like, yeah, I would have known if somebody stole it, and I
Yeah.
don't own the market on this idea.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, more people are liking it than not. But I get those comments that I stole
Yeah.
that bit, and you're just so and it's infuriating. You're just like if they
Yeah.
knew the work you put into it, talking with other comedians and having ideas bounce off them for the conclusion of your jokes, and and they say that about other bits of mine on Dry Bar too, the substitute teacher thing. They say I stole from Key and Peele. You're just like, other people are subs, right? Like
Yeah.
other people can talk about the same thing, but yeah,
It's
so it's just
frustrating because they don't,
yeah.
like, so, and we focus on the two negative comments and not the 100,
Right. It's
500
got
grade.
that
Yeah.
clip's out of nowhere. It's got like 2,000 plus likes in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool. What did that one person say? I flip out. I'm like, I don't enjoy that there's more people liking it
Yeah.
than
Do you remember
than the,
Greg Giraldo?
yeah.
I worked with him many, many years ago. Obviously, he's deceased, but I was telling him, so I have this chunk of my Dry Bar special, and I had it forever. I rarely do it now. It's all about fast food, so it's a bunch of fast food:
Right.
McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Denny's, Chick-fil-A. And I was just tired of doing those jokes. And he was like, I said everybody. I said to Greg, and he's a prolific writer and performer and roast master
Yeah.
and everything. And he goes, are the jokes true to you? I mean, they're not stolen. A million, 100,000 comedians have jokes about fast food. Are yours true to you? Are they an exaggeration of an experience you had and you wrote it, right? I go, yeah. He goes, then do it.
Yeah.
He's like, no one's going to be the next Bill Hicks. No one's going to be, you're not, he goes, that story that you tell about those restaurants, it all happened to you. And it may be an exaggeration of what happened to you to make it funnier, but he's like, then do it. What are you worrying about?
Who cares? You're not, unless you are doing what arenas like.
Right. I'm not doing work. I'm not stealing. No one, it's like if I did a marriage joke or being dating joke, and people are like, oh, Lee's got dating jokes and
Right.
Danny's got dating jokes. Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah. Go to any, I mean, any open mic. You're going to hear how many jokes about weed porn.
Man,
Like,
that's disappointing sometimes to go to an open mic to try out. I don't do it very often, but I'll go if I have a bit too much time in between gigs or I want to try
sure.
some stuff out. But the unfortunately, some of the content, man, like I don't know. I have respect for all everybody that gets behind the mic, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just frustrating sometimes to kind of have to sit through that.
Yeah. Funny's funny. I'm not a prude. You
Yeah.
know, some of my favorite comedy specials are like Dave Chappelle's,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's not clean. He's funny. Like, Doug Stanhope, funny. Um, but I actually, the Huckabee set, I practiced that a couple of times before the
Yeah.
taping at open mics, and they got nothing. Like that, like that 5 minutes fell flat at any open mic I went to. I just knew what it was. I'm like, all right, I just came here for the timing and all that to
Yeah.
get.
You have to do that.
Yeah, so
I had 10 days from the day I got the call to my dry bar taping.
just 10 days.
Yeah. So there must have
Wow.
been a fallout, and I was on a short list with the booker or whatever. I was eventually going to get it, right?
Sure.
And but I all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, can you be in Provo in 10 days?" And I'm like, "Wow, how do I lose 50 pounds in 10 days?" Right.
Yeah.
and uh and that
Uh,
was nerve wracking. Put together that set list because my special it was supposed to be 30. They said you could do 40. There's only two of you. It wasn't the
uh,
three person the way it is now, 20 minutes long.
yeah.
So I did 40 and they kept 38, and it was so nerve wracking.
Sure. But they make you feel like $1 million, and you're
Yeah,
like, they make you feel like you're the greatest comedian in the world at that time. And you're just
yeah,
like, there's a crowd here that loves you and is super supportive. I was supposed to do 40 minutes. Because I was like, maybe I'm too new to do this, but I'm not going to say no to this.
right,
So I was like, I'll figure it out. And I'll wait till the very end of the season. So I've got a few months to
right.
craft it. But they added a third comic. You only have to do 25 now. And I'm like, even better. I feel good
Yes.
about just doing 25. And so I was grateful that they added a third comic to that. So,
Do you I won't keep you much longer, but you
oh,
did
you're
two
fine.
two sets that night, right?
Yep, you tape it twice. Yep.
And did you find that my second set, I think they kept everything from the second set.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt the same both tapings. It really did. I think I got the same reaction. I want to even say applause breaks both times. It
Yeah.
was such a blur, but I feel like I don't know which one they pulled from. To be honest,
Yeah.
whichever one had the crowd work. I asked a guy about his first vehicle he drove. There was one
A
person.
van, he said, right?
Oh yeah, wow, good memory. um, Dang, yeah, he said he had a van, and so whatever show that was from, maybe they used the whole thing from that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. So it was fun. I know that was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and so I'm starting to feel like Uncle Rico after a couple of years, where I'm just like, yeah, that was a good time back then. So
Do you have a favorite venue that you've done? Because you do quite a bit of road work and traveling.
trying, yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat what they do at Dry Bar, that Provo, that venue, that full room, that vibe they do.
Yeah.
A close second. No, I mean, it's because it's not a taping environment, but CG's Comedy Club in Bolingbrook, Illinois. It's a
Hmm.
newer club, and last time I was there, we had a blast. That was when people were asking me to do a Taco Bell joke that I stopped doing, and I was joking about if they had any questions, and then 15 minutes later, I'm answering questions on stage, and we're just laughing at how ridiculous that was. And but Glenn, who runs that room, it's a super clean room. He takes care of it. He takes care of you, and it's just he creates a great atmosphere for that place, and it's just been really fun. Um, so that's a place I definitely look forward to. There was another place that's no longer around called Backdoor Comedy and Events in O'Fallon, Missouri,
Okay.
and I got to know the owners there pretty well. Um, and then Minnesota's really cool. There's a place called Camp Bar, and it's in St. Paul. and it's been there 3 times now, and I just enjoy my time there. I enjoy visiting, but the crowds are pretty fun. So, but CG's is like that's one of my probably my top place
Yeah.
to get to go to. So
Yeah, there's some places you go where you just feel at home. I mean, I think I feel comfortable in most comedy venues, but you just kind of feel staff's right. The staff knows what to do,
yeah,
right. You're comfortable on stage, you're treated well, taken care of, hotel and stuff like
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
makes you
Is
feel comfortable.
is Don Rickles one of your favorite comics? I see this shot
Yeah.
from comedians in cars.
Yes, I'm glad that's so funny you spotted that. So I was a
Oh, I'm obsessed with that show.
oh yeah,
So
I've seen every episode.
yeah,
So a friend of mine got me his autograph for my birthday, and
that's so cool.
yeah, I mean, I love Rickles. I don't know that he could do what he does today. Obviously, he's passed, but
Sure.
so fun to watch. Just so silly and
Yeah.
so blatantly stereotypical that it made it so it was just so great.
Right. I'm
One of
saying
my favorites.
ridiculous things like, you know,
And then after
I,
further examination, the picture in the background is one of my favorite comedians, Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry
And I was like,
Seinfeld, he's the man.
yeah, he's in the background. That's great. And
My
then I have
my head yeah.
the and then I figured I would put comedian up there if people didn't know what I was. And then a thinner picture of me. That's my dry bar poster I took
Dude,
off the wall.
I should frame mine. I have not framed mine. You're doing way better at me than in that world. So, man, I love my head exploded when I first saw comedians in cars getting coffee because I'm like, oh, Seinfeld knows Regan. That's so cool. Oh, Seinfeld knows Joel from Mystery Science Theater. What?
Yeah,
I couldn't grasp how like that's so cool that these guys are all kind of connected. And yeah, that was one of the most original shows I've ever seen. And
yeah. I
I
used
don't
to
know.
watch it on Crackle that's when it first came out.
It was awesome on Crackle. Netflix messed it up. Like the a cup of espresso season. You're like, can we just do seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah,
I don't need cute names with this. And you don't realize how funny Alec Baldwin is until you see
yeah.
him on
Oh
that.
yeah.
Good lord. Oh,
And
he's
it's
so
funny.
fun.
It's interesting for me to see the length of the show, so you can almost kind of tell who we really clicked with. Some episodes are like 14 minutes, some are 23. And it's
Right.
like, oh, he must have, it must have been a little dry or whatever.
Sure.
It's funny.
Yeah. That I can see because I'm like, all right, Seinfeld doesn't know this guy too well, and I'm pretty sure he got guilted into that guest. So
Right.
I
Seinfeld, he
noticed
took a
that.
little flack for not this. People were, the woke media or the woke whoever.
Yeah.
No, you don't have a lot of women on there or minorities, and he's like, I'm just look. He goes, funny is funny.
Yeah. He's like, that's all I care about. Like, yeah, I appreciated his reaction. There was no apologies. He's like, no, you're ticking me off that
Yeah,
you're even bringing this up. I
and
mean,
he does, and he
I
did have women on there and other.
yeah, it's just no one's gonna be happy. So, like, do you remember the Kid President videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, the most adorable kid ever. I got to meet him actually, super nice kid. And his videos, like this is when the YouTube dislike button was still counting, but his videos were getting dislikes. I'm like, who was liking this? Who's disliking this? And people can see color for the first time with these glasses, like these
Yeah,
colorblind people, and they're putting glasses on and they're freaking out. They're crying, like, oh my gosh, my son's eyes are blue. I know what that means now. I can see that. And then you see
yeah,
dislikes on the YouTube page. You're like, who who's hating this?
yeah. That's
So
funny
people,
that people seeing color for the. I recently made a list. I'm constantly jotting down what my brain is trying to tell me or whatever. But I just wrote down like the top three things that make me cry when I'm scrolling online or make me tear up. And then one of them is the colorblind glasses.
yeah.
The other one is kids seeing or hearing for the first time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then the other one is military reunions. I scroll past. I have to go. I'm like, I don't need to
Oh
watch
right.
that today.
Oh man, I need to. There's another one that I need to send you. I assume you're a baseball guy with the Yankees
Oh
cap,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
All right. There's a Little League World Series clip of this team losing, this New Jersey team,
Yeah.
and this coach gives like the best post game loss speech to his kids you've ever heard.
Okay.
And you don't know these kids at all, but you're watching, you're like, oh man, you scroll through because you're like, I'm gonna cry. Like
Yeah, yeah.
just the how nice he was to his kids, and these kids are just devastated.
Great.
And he gives the most cool, comforting speech. So I will send that to you shortly. So I
Yeah,
think you'll
I'll
you'll
save it
love
for
it.
an emotional moment. Until then, I'll just keep pushing those emotions down. You just shove them down.
Bottle it in, bottle it in. Um, I know you got tattoos. You look
Oh
too
yeah,
nice of a.
yeah. I
You look
gotta.
like it's wow. You look too nice of a family man to have tattoos. This is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a big fan of
serious.
stained glass windows, so I have
That's
a lot.
serious. Oh,
Yeah, a
that
lot of.
that looks expensive.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
oh God. Your dry bar check must have been a little bit bigger than mine. So, man.
Those royalties better keep coming, or
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, it took 2 years to get royalties from that
yeah,
because you thought your special came out, the views are like, oh, it's blowing up, but then it
right.
hits a peak, and you're like, all right. So then it took a couple of years, and then even when the checks come in, you're like, that one's okay. Oh, that one's
Yeah,
awesome. Oh, well, I can buy some tacos with that check. Okay.
yeah. It's like
Um,
whenever they run a clip of yours, I'm like telling all my friends like share it, like it, take
right.
whatever, do whatever you can, get this money rolling in.
I'm trying to make money here. Yeah. So
And
yeah,
now it's on Amazon, right? It's on Amazon, Apple. They put it everywhere through Comedy
yeah,
Dynamics.
you can technically say you're on Peacock now too. So yeah, if
Oh,
you look, your special should be on Peacock.
huh.
Yeah,
It is kind of cool to, when I first showed my son, he's 16, like I just search me up on Amazon or Apple. Put my name
yeah,
in. Yeah,
absolutely.
my dumb
Yeah,
face
it's.
pops up there.
Do you are you shy when people ask what you do and then you say you're a comedian and you're like, well, you can look this up if you want, or are you more like, no, no,
It,
please look it up?
yeah, that's interesting. Because I'm such an introvert and I avoid social situations. um, I would say, can't remember the last time I even had the opportunity, but yeah, I think sometimes I've lied. Yeah, I just own a bunch of broccoli farms in Mexico or something. I just make something up or
my
whatever.
my my lawyer Saul Goodman takes care of me in that New
And then
Mexico.
people
Yeah.
feel very comfortable questioning you if I go, I'm a comedian, actor, whatever. Oh, you can make a living on that, or you can make money, or where have I
Yeah.
seen you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what you watch. I don't know.
Right. Are you funny?
Yeah, or say
Are you
something funny.
funny?
You get that. Say
Yeah,
something
that's
funny.
always yeah. Yeah.
I always say, if they say something funny, I go, that shirt looks good on you. And they're
I'm
like,
gonna take that.
hmm.
I don't steal jokes, but I'm taking that one. So yeah. I just
So,
yeah. What's up?
last question for you. I have more notes about your comedy special. We can talk about that
Sure.
anytime. But with all the guitars back there, what do you do? Bring it on stage? Do you think are you one?
I've tried. It's just it's such a mixed art form. We've I think you've been around this enough. Like bad guitar comedy is really bad. There's no middle ground.
Yeah,
So I don't know how to like. I respect the heck out of guys who can take a guitar up there and be funny. Um, so it's just a separate hobby. I've tried and I've never felt good about it.
it's got to
You
be
got your
extra
Steve
pressure, right? Because yeah, I guess you would have to. I would have to be a master guitar player to
and
have
that's the other
to.
thing. I'm so inconsistent if I play live.
Yeah,
I love playing at home, and you just get more comfortable the more you play live for sure. But I liked what Steve Martin did. That was cool. He would just go into it, not really be funny, and then rip it up, and then come back and tell jokes. Tim Hawkins will have, but he has like parody songs he'll do.
yeah.
Um,
Johnny W. Right? Doesn't he?
oh, he's phenomenal. Yeah, he's got his guitar with him, and he can sing and play. So
Yeah,
he's a really good singer. That helps you a lot. Stephen Lynch. Oh my gosh, that dude's
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Like, and he's so pretty when he sings. He's so pretty sounding. Like his voice
No, I
is
get it. Yeah,
like this is a singer songwriter, and he sounds amazing when he sings. And
yeah.
that's what makes it even funnier. Is you got this pretty voice saying the most absurd thing. That's what's great about comedy. Airplane is the best comedy ever, in my opinion, and it's because you had serious soap opera actors never did comedy before.
Yeah, yeah,
These serious, respected actors talking about sniffing glue or
yeah,
like saying the most ridiculous things,
yeah.
and
Oh,
it didn't.
stewardess, I speak jive.
Yeah, yeah. I bet none of these people were comedic actors before they got into this
Yeah,
movie. I would almost guess that, and it's such a contradiction, and that's what makes it so funny. A
yeah,
thing that just is so absurd, rooted
yeah.
in seriousness.
I think, and that carried over into the Naked Gun movies
Yes, Leslie
with Leslie
Nielsen.
Nielsen.
Yeah,
Yeah, and one of my
yeah. He,
favorites from the line from Leslie was in one of the Naked Gun movies. He's dressed up as a doctor in the emergency room, and people are running around left and right. And the nurse grabs him, and she goes, "Doctor, I see you." And he goes, "And I see you."
oh, the turnarounds that they had
Yeah,
making it so good. Airplane, they do it a lot in Airplane where it's like, I need to ask you a question. Oh, what
yeah,
is it? It's an interrogative statement used to test
yeah,
knowledge, but that's not important right now.
yeah.
Those missed jokes there. I
There's
love it
something
all.
wrong at the hospital. The hospital, what is it? It's a big building where they keep sick people. That's not
Yeah,
important right now.
that's not important right now.
Or the guy, I want to know everything that happened up until now. And he goes, "Well, first the dinosaurs came."
um, it's on YouTube. It's a scene from Airplane. No one catches it anytime I watch it with them, but it's one of the most brilliant things I think, because the dude's not wanting to fly the plane. He's like, this plane's got 9 engines. It's an entirely different kind of flying altogether. Then the two people say,
Yeah.
it's an entirely different kind of flying. They repeat it all together. I'm like, God, that's good. And I'm
Right.
the only one laughing at it sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do they hand? They hand the guy a newspaper. What do you make of this? And he goes, "Oh, I can
Yeah.
make a hat.
A
I can make
hat.
a brooch."
Yeah. That dude's so funny. That movie, yeah, it's hands down. I know people love Anchorman as their top comedy. I'm like, Anchorman's great, but
Yeah, yeah.
Airplane, yeah.
I think lines like that in movies. Like I remember distinctly going to see Step Brothers. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
Several
Saw it
times.
in the
Yeah.
theater, right?
Yeah.
And it's the scene where is it John? What's the guy's name? Riley.
John C.
Yeah.
Riley. Yeah.
He's on the couch seeing a therapist, and he's very slowly like he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I'm just a janitor at a school, and I do math problems on a board." No one laughed. Me and my brother lost it. Like we're the only two laughing. And this is the Goodwill Hunting, the Goodwill Hunting thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Those guys, their chemistry is really good. Will Ferrell
Yeah.
and John. So, man, that's
Look,
hilarious.
man, it has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Not having met you or talked to you yet, just enjoyed your clips from. I think we are Facebook friends, but
Yeah. So I have a new official friend now. This is cool. I'm excited.
yeah, man.
So
So people can go where? They can go to Lee Hardin comedy.com.
comedy.com. Yep.
Hardin, right?
Yes, not En or Ing, Hardin. And Lee Hardin Comedy on Instagram, Twitter, but I don't really do much on Twitter. There was Lee Hardin Comedy on Facebook. Someone hacked that account and actually grew the fan page after they hacked my account. So I'm just
Great
going to
as
let him
that.
keep it. Yeah, they hacked it, started putting animal torture videos on it and goats smoking. And like, I can't get my page back and they're doing great with it. So
It's still out there then.
yeah, so you can go watch that if you want to. And my joke now about it is it's like someone stealing your identity and your credit score goes up,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So comedian Lee Hardin is the new page where you
yeah.
can see the reels on there. And if anybody wants to like, if you see people like saying I stole that joke, if anybody wants to comment on that and, you know,
Yeah, no, I think
I'm not,
especially you
yeah.
reaching out to that other comic too. It's like it's so ridiculous that you even had to do that. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I just, more for me, I just wanted some peace of mind. Like I know I wrote my joke, but I just, in
Yeah,
case someday we ever cross paths, I'm like, hey, or I respect you. So I want you to know
for
this is
sure.
not what it is. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and of course they can see you're not quite grown up.
not
Dry
quite
bar
grown up
special.
on Dry Bar. Yeah, because that's on YouTube now. I know there's a Dry Bar Plus app, and but yeah, it's on YouTube, and there's clips of it. So yeah,
Cool.
please, as we talked about, watch. We need I need my $39 check to be a $40 check next time. So
That's right. Those gas prices are.
Exactly.
Killing
I
us.
have I sell t-shirts now for $80. So, so
Well, man, listen, I hope our hang out here for a second when we're done recording, but
yeah.
I loved having you on, and I hope our paths cross.
Same. Absolutely. I'd love to work with you someday. So
Absolutely. All right, brother. We'll see you soon.